Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to discuss Raceroom. Back in 2019 it was the first time I installed Raceroom, and since then there's been a lot of changes. Really has been a lot of changes. I've done a brief review of this last year, but I've been away from the sim for quite some time. So we're going to do a real in-depth look at a Raceroom and just basically decide whether it's really worth investing your time as we head into 2023. Similar to my AMS2 video that I'd done a couple of weeks ago, and it was a resounding yes with AMS2 that it was very much worth spending time and investing your time in AMS2. Can we say the same for Raceroom? Let's go. So the first thing we're going to look at is the content in Raceroom. So we're going to click on the store. This page gives you an overview of the amount of content that Raceroom has to offer. As you can see, it's considerable. When I first started the game, when I first started Raceroom back in 2019, I bought the starter pack. Now this was purchased on the 7th of November 2019, so a good while ago. At the time, I bypassed the Pro pack, which is really good value in its own right, and I went straight to the premium pack. So about a month after I started in Raceroom, I purchased the premium pack. Now the premium pack contains all of the content that Raceroom has to offer, and the price of that was, and still is, around about the cost of a little over the cost of a AAA title that you'd buy on PC, as long as you use VRP to buy your content. Now VRP I'll go into a little bit later in the video, but in a nutshell, it's just basically it's a discounted way of buying the content. You can buy it with cash money through Steam or whatever, but by far the best value is to buy it in VRP. And actually on the store page there is a little frequently asked questions about VRP. So basically it's called virtual race points, and it converts your currency to give you a discount. So yeah, if you like just sort of scroll through this, like on the Raceroom screen, it'll give you an overview of what VRP is. It's a little bit of a convoluted way of buying your content, but definitely the most cost-effective way. Another great thing about Raceroom is you can test drive any car before you buy it. Now iRacing you can't do that. I don't know why, but Raceroom, thumbs up for that. That is a really good feature that you can test your car before you buy it. You test it, you don't like it, you don't buy it. Simple as that. So yeah, I mean, there's a hell of a lot of content. Loads of different packs of cars, loads of different packs of tracks. And I mean, just look, there's a lot of content. So we just go to tracks, for instance. Now I own most of the tracks. There's a few that I haven't owned because I've been away from Raceroom for a while, which I will be buying. So Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, a little bit of a meme in Raceroom that they only had the Indy circuit for the longest time, but they've got the Grand Prix circuit, and it costs £4.28. Now that in iRacing costs you what, $14? So it's a massive difference in price. Donington Park, obviously I'm going to be buying these. Interlagos, but £4. You know what I mean? Nothing. It's fantastic value. So yeah, these are all the tracks that Raceroom has got, and there's a lot. There's a lot of not I would say obscure, but like stuff you wouldn't find in any other sim. A lot like AMS2, where there's a lot of Brazilian and South American tracks that you wouldn't find in any other sim. So it's the same with Raceroom and European tracks. So yeah, there's a lot of tracks there. Look, a lot. You're not going to get bored, and they're not even. I mean, there's a lot of, world famous, well known tracks. Obviously, Brands Hatch, Donington, Indianapolis, Interlagos. I'm just reading off the Portimao, Sepang, Autodrome Most. I really like that. It's a really nice circuit. Zandvoort. This is a brand new track that was released yesterday, and I bought that. And let me tell you that is an absolutely fantastic track. when you're buying a pack or when you're buying your content, I would highly recommend getting the driver's pack. It's just been released. It contains the MX-5, which is an iconic car from sort of other sims like Raceroom, and for my racing. Apologies. And Raceroom's rendition of the MX-5 is absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, the best MX-5 there is in sim racing. Absolutely fantastic. And coupled with this track, it is brilliant. Anyway, getting sidetracked. If you want to have a quick look, a quick first look at the driver's pack, I've done a live stream last night. Check it out on the channel. Yeah, just go and have a look at it. So getting back, you know, Daytona, Hockenheim, Hungaroring, it's got the Nordschleife, Imola. I mean, these are all world famous, well-known circuits. But in that, you've got, you know, Dekra, Lausitzring. I probably absolutely butchered that. Bilsterberg, there's Falkenberg, Motorbahn. You know what I mean? There's a lot of obscure European tracks that are absolutely a joy to drive. So there's your tracks. Cars, there's a hell of a lot of cars. I mean, Raceroom is renowned for having some of the best touring cars in sim racing, and they really do. So look at all these, look at all this content. I'm just going to scroll through quite slowly, but yeah, when I say Raceroom's got a lot of content for your money, I really mean it. I mean, look, it's just endless. Goes on and on and on. The DTMs, the old DTM, 92 DTMs, absolute pleasure to drive. But look at all this content. It's just endless. There is so much to do, and the value for money is outstanding. It's similar to AMS2 with the content. Raceroom offers a hell of a lot of content for the money that you pay. Still scrolling. You still here? Oh, we've got to the end. Yeah, so content-wise, absolutely fantastic. Let's move on. Okay, guys, so what you're really here for, you want to know how it drives. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up a little practice session. What should we go? We'll go with a GT3 car. I mean the Praga. I was on the Praga last night. What a car! Absolute pleasure to drive. Anyway, we'll start with a little GT3 because I mean the most popular racing at the moment is GT3s. We're gonna go with a Ferrari, and yeah, we'll go with Spa. We'll go with Spa. Everyone knows Spa and the Ferrari. Quite a good combination to showcase Raceroom. Now, I personally think that the force feedback and the physics in Raceroom are outstanding. Once you've got your wheel and that dialed in, and your force feedback dialed in, we'll go into the force feedback as we get into the sim. They've simplified the force feedback a lot. When I first joined Raceroom, there was false feedback. There was more than a dozen sliders. It got really confusing. A lot of the effects were canned effects as well, but now it's all completely physics based. And since the update, the feel is just it's just fantastic. We just go to the options. Where are we? Controls and false feedback. I'll just show you. So, like I say, all this UI has all been updated since I bought Raceroom initially. But like I say, there was more than a dozen sliders, and it was so confusing. So now, if you just go down here, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sliders now, and you know it's really simplified it, but it's enhanced the force feedback no end. Another thing I like is the force feedback meter, which you can adjust in game, just so you make sure you're not clipping. That's just a brief overview of the force feedback. Now I've got my sort of baseline force feedback set up for all cars, but like each individual car you can like increase the force feedback, decrease it, just to stop getting that clipping. Obviously in some cars the force feedback's quite strong, like open wheelers. I tend to like drop the force feedback gain a little bit, but that's all done on an individual car basis. Another thing I really like, especially playing on a single monitor. I mean, as you know, I race quite a lot in VR, but not when I stream, because obviously I want to interact with my chat and stuff, and I find it a lot easier to race on flat screen. I'm a little bit slower on flat screen than I am in VR, but what I really like about this is the field of view. Once you get your basic measurements, like your distance from the screen, your screen size and stuff, it's all done on sliders. And what I like about it is the visual representation you get on the left hand side there. What you're going to see in game, I think it's brilliant. So like if I had a bigger screen, you know, my field of view will increase. So I'll just put it back down to, these are my settings, and like I say, it gives you a visual representation of what you're going to see in the cockpit while you're out on track. So really good feature that. I really like that. Okay, let's get out on the track. Listen to that sound. I mean, I'm not an audiophile,
Pit lane speed
but in my opinion,
80 kilometers per hour.
still, I think, Raceroom has got the best sounds in sim racing.
Your brakes are cold, let's get
in
some
virtually
heat.
every car. I've only got a T300 RS belt drive wheel. I've had it for about 3 years now.
On your left.
I
Left.
upgraded from a Logitech G29. Just let these guys go through.
Car left. Clear left.
It sounds just amazing. Really feel the wheel loading up. And you can set all the different sound levels. I mean, I've got the opponent's cars. I did have them too loud, and I couldn't hear my own sort of thing. Obviously, you take audio cues as well as visual cues, as well as like your false feedback for what the car's doing. And I couldn't hear my engine, like the gear shifts and stuff. A little bit wide there. But just listen to that Porsche in front. It's just amazing. I mean, obviously I've got headphones on, so you're more acutely aware of different sounds and stuff. But you really feel the wheel loading up, and in Raceroom, I tend to find that when you get to the edge of grip, or you know you're on the limit, you can feel if you're going to lose it a lot earlier than I can in other sims like iRacing. A lot of times, or oftentimes in iRacing, you get to the edge of grip, you go past the limit, and immediately the car's off. You can't save it. Now with Raceroom, I really feel like I save a hell of a lot more slides and stuff than I would in iRacing, for instance. So yeah, the driving feel is, honestly, I really do think the physics in Raceroom are just so underrated.
Mind these track limits, please, Paul.
It's without a doubt, it's one of the most underrated sims out there. This is an AMS2. AMS2 is a really nice, chill simulator, I think. And you've only got to look at the live streams I've had over the last couple of weeks or so in AMS2 to realise what a great sim it can be and the potential it has. Raceroom, in a similar vein, has always had the potential. It just doesn't have, and for the life of me, I don't know why, it just doesn't have the user base to really, I don't know, propel it forward, I suppose. Everyone that tries Raceroom, they're so impressed by it that I'm so amazed why it's not as popular as other sims. visually, it's probably looking its age. But if you're not a graphics snob and your time is all about, you know, the driving experience, you can't go wrong with Raceroom. You really can't. Look at that the car in front. Sound amazing. Way wide, way wide. That would have been that's definitely an off track because it's a practice session. Whoa.
Left side, clear left.
That's a new fastest lap for Smith, 2:22.73.
Oh, it just puts a smile on my face.
You're running last.
Right. I feel so connected with the car on the track. Oh dear, naughty, naughty. Right,
Track limits, this lap will
let's
be
try
deleted.
something else. Right guys, we're in
The pit exit's clear. Let's get some heat into
Jimmy
these brakes.
Broadbent's Praga R1. Now, this is a new addition to Raceroom, sorry, not iRacing. This car is an absolute joy. It's a tough old beast to tame, but once you start getting it, what an absolute pleasure to drive. A proper race car. Absolutely love this car. Now I would highly recommend buying the new drivers pack that Raceroom released last week, I think it was. In that pack you get this, the Praga R1, you get the iconic Mazda MX-5 and two Crossley cars. No, I'd never heard of them, but they're fun to drive. One of them in particular, the older one, open wheeler, what an absolute joy to drive that. I weren't so keen on the other one, but the open wheeler was brilliant. And also in that driver's pack you get a new circuit. I think Circuit de Charade. That coupled with the MX-5, what a driving experience that is. Now, I've done a first look. If you want to check that driver's pack out, just check on the channel. There's a stream where we have a first look at it. But I highly recommend that pack. And it only costs, I can't remember how much it cost, £8 or £9, £8 or £9 for like 4 cars and 1 track. Brilliant value. And couple that with you know, like the starter pack or the pro pack. I can't remember how much the pro pack was. I think probably maybe £15, let's just say. So for £20 get the pro pack and the driver's pack and you're set. You'll have plenty of tracks, plenty of cars to really get to grips with Raceroom. And don't forget, Raceroom, like the base content, is completely free to play. Download it off of Steam. How about this car though, guys? Like I say, with Raceroom, visually it's probably showing its age. There's no day-night cycles. There's no dynamic weather. You know, you're always going to be racing on a dry track. But the driving experience is great. Honestly, it really is. Let this guy go in front.
Go right.
You can
Clear
take a look.
right.
This is a proper race car, this. The R1 Praga. You know, there's no traction control, no ABS, and honestly, like,
Locking your right front into
initially
hotel.
it's a real handful. I mean, I literally kept spinning out the whole time. But to improve your car handling overall, like once you get to grips with this, I think it will stand you in good stead just in
Left
sim
side,
racing in
clear
general. Right, let's move on. So moving on to game modes. So like you've just seen in that little clip there, with I set up a single player practice. So you've got your single player, multiplayer competitions. So let's just go to competitions initially. So like in a lot of other sims, you get like scenarios. Like this one is the Prague R1, the leaderboard competition at Spa. So it's just hot lapping basically. So you've got a lot of these, and some of these you can win some real good prizes. You know, so pretty much standard fare in most sims. You got your different game modes. I haven't done half of these, so I'm gonna have to have a look at them. Go back to the game. Multiplayer. Now, this is the ranked schedule for this week, or what I should say is the festive period. Yeah, I mean, initially you look at it, you think, oh, there's plenty going on. This is probably the one downfall, or one of the downfalls of Raceroom, and it's not just Raceroom. I mean, when you compare it to iRacing, now iRacing obviously has got, undoubtedly, it's unmatched in its matched multiplayer. Massive user base, like huge. You can literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you'll be able to find a race. Now, unfortunately, with Raceroom, it's heavily EU biased in the fact that during the day. I mean, at the time of doing this video or this clip, it's 10 o'clock in the morning. Now, if I click on multiplayer now, there'd be hardly any servers and hardly any races. It really picks up sort of between the hours of 6 and 10 in the European time zones, and you'll get full servers, full grids. Like if you're planning an evening of racing on Raceroom, in Europe especially, between 6 and 10, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I don't know why it's not as busy in other time zones. All I can put that down to really is marketing and promotion. I never see any marketing or promotion for Raceroom, and it amazes me. I mean, whether the studio, I imagine, are relatively small. They might not have the advertising budget, or certainly not of an iRacing. But I really feel if they was to promote this sim a lot more, then I'm sure it will get busier, and they get a much bigger user base. Now, like, yeah, so if I click on multiplayer now, you'll see. I mean, I know straight away there's not going to be many servers. Yeah, look, I mean, we've got one with the Tatus F4. There's 6 in qualifying. That's just about to end. There's nothing going on. I mean, obviously, this is just ranked servers. If I untick ranked, there's a few more servers where there's other like AMS2. You can set up your own private server or like your own open lobby. But I mean, as you go through the ticks, so you get a lot more. But obviously, you can see there's no one in these servers. But I generally only race on ranked servers. So unfortunately, that's one of Raceroom's biggest downfalls. And like I say, I think a lot of sim racing titles suffer from the same thing, in that iRacing is just absolutely absolute behemoth that it is for multiplayer. Now, I did hear whispers, and I've seen a few posts that Low Fuel Motorsport are looking at Raceroom to sort of work their magic. And if they do, I'm sure it can only be benefit the sim. You see how much it's improved the. If you look at YouTube, at R Factor 2, the amount of content on there since Low Fuel Motorsport have worked their magic there. They've done it in ACC, they're doing it in R Factor 2. Let's hope, fingers crossed, they can do something with Raceroom. So yeah, other content, like I say, single player. We go back into single player. You can set up championships. Like a lot of other sims, you can set up your car, your track, set up all your criteria for the race, all your AI difficulty, opponent, blah blah blah. As a single player sim, Raceroom brilliant. Like the AI, I think are really good. They do have their moments, but they really behave like humans. Like ACC, I think the AI in that is just so sterile. You know, they just don't do anything. You know, they just follow each other around like a snake. Now in Raceroom, they'll take each other out. They'll battle each other. Admittedly, there are some failings. I mean, sometimes they just shit themselves. If a guy in front will like comes off the track, they just sort of almost grind to a halt. You've got to be a little bit careful. But ordinarily, they properly race you, and you know they'll fight you, and they won't give up track position. So yeah, you can set up your championships. Like I say, you've got your leaderboard challenges. Like, because the amount of content in Raceroom, I mean, this is endless. You know, you can literally, like, this is the content that I own, and I can set up a leaderboard challenge for any of these, and on any track. You know, so that in it's just on its own, like hot lapping, like as a single player. If you just want to just like jump behind the wheel, you don't feel like going online and racing, and getting caught up in all that, you know, like the iRating grind or the ranked servers grind. You can just get in and just play the game, and it's just brilliant. Honestly, like, as a single player sim, it's fantastic. As a multiplayer, like, you know, between the hours of 6 and 10 in Europe especially, you can have some absolutely fantastic races. Just check out my streams from the last couple of weeks. I raced GT4s almost exclusively for nearly 2 weeks, and the level of racing, and honestly, some of the best time I've had in sim racing. Yeah, and like one of iRacing's, I think, biggest criticisms for me is also its massive selling point in the multiplayer. Now, oftentimes in iRacing, you're racing against almost faceless opponents because the user base is so vast. You don't get a feel for who you can race wheel to wheel with. Now in Raceroom, because the user base is that much smaller, you get to race the same people over and over again, and you get to trust who you can go wheel to wheel with. You know, and like, I mean, I had a day of iRacing the other day, and it was just so frustrating. You know, cars that clearly were, or racers that clearly were quicker than me, but had no idea about racing in a pack. You know, so they might, but in Raceroom, in my experience, I'm not saying it's like, you know, it's not a crash fest. Sometimes it can be, you know, especially in the rookie servers or whatever. But generally, I've found, like, because of the smaller user base, and you get to know these people, you know who you can trust to go wheel to wheel with, and I really like that about Raceroom. So finally, we come to VRP and the way you buy your content for Raceroom. Now, this to me makes no sense, but you've got a store button here on the main UI, on the menu UI. You press the store button, and it gives you information on all the packs and that you can buy. It even, you know, it even gives you a little bit of information on what VRP is and how the discounts work, etc. But at no point or nowhere here, along the tabs, along the top, anywhere, can you buy your VRP. You've got to go to an external website. Move that and bring this up. You've got to go to an external website called raceroomstore.com/shop to buy your VRP. And they've got their all the different packs that you've got here. So if you've got content that costs you 999 VRP, you would buy 1100 VRP for £9 or €9.49, whatever currency you use, your local currency. When I bought my premium pack, I bought 10,000 VRP, and back then I think it was about 50 quid. It's €64.99 now, but it's about 50 quid for all of the content. So I bought the VRP and then had to go back into Raceroom, and it was, you know, spend my VRP on the content. Now I don't know why you've got to go through hoops to buy your content. It just makes no sense to me. Just add a little button in your store. You know, like it's easy. You've got the button there. Just press that. Go into store. Have a little button. Yeah, just put a big button there. Buy your VRP here. Or, you know what I mean? Don't make people go out to an external website to buy VRP, to buy content. Just make it easier for the user to buy the content. Sort it out, Raceroom. Come on, make it easy for us, guys. So there you go, guys. There's my general overview of Raceroom. Not completely in depth, but it's giving you a real broad idea of what Raceroom has got to offer. Pretty much like AMS2, where it was an absolute no-brainer that it's worth getting as you head into 2023. Raceroom, I mean, for a start, it's free to play. You know, so even if you don't want to spend any money, you just want to test it out, download it on Steam and give it a go. Obviously, you've got to spend a little bit of money to get the most out of it, but other than that, it's such an underrated sim. Raceroom and AMS2 are the most underrated sims on the planet by far, I think, personally. The force feedback and physics are great. The community is great. For such an old engine, it looks great. You know, it's like I said in the review, it's not dissimilar to iRacing in the looks department. I personally prefer the sort of the grainier, more real-world look than something as like pretty as ACC, which I think it's a good sim, but it just looks too perfect. Now, Raceroom, I think they've nailed it. It's just it's I don't know. It's just that grainy. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But yeah, I really enjoy it. Obviously, the criticisms I've got of it are the multiplayer a little bit, and the VRP system. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. But other than that, it's a fantastic game. It's a real eye opener, and it's a nice alternative to iRacing. A lot cheaper than iRacing, but it obviously hasn't got the multiplayer. Any sim game at the moment is going to take a backseat to iRacing because they've absolutely nailed it, like the multiplayer. If it's true that the rumours that LFM are going to look at Raceroom and work their magic, then I think it's massive for the sim. And heading into 2023, I don't know what the future holds for Raceroom. I would like to think that they would tweak the multiplayer and maybe market the game a little bit more. You don't see any marketing for Raceroom, really. And I'd like to see them, you know, push it a little bit more. The community is great. The devs and the KW Studios guys, they're always in the Discord. They're always interacting with the community. The racing community as a whole, I've found a quite tight-knit. I've made some really good friends over the last couple of weeks, and I just really enjoyed it. So heading into 2023, it's an absolute no-brainer. It's a resounding yes from me. definitely invest your time and give Raceroom a look. Okay then, guys, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed that little review of Raceroom. I know it's quite long. The video's quite long. There's quite a lot to cover, and I really enjoyed it. I hope you have too. If you have, if you wouldn't mind, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed to the channel and you like this kind of content, perhaps consider subscribing. Alright guys, you take care of yourselves. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.